Hello, welcome to April 2016's full moon meditation. I hope you're able to hear me. I think it looks like everything's picking up fine. I didn't hear the normal ding in the beginning, so hopefully everything is good. So, welcome. My name is Shanti. My website is courageousintuitive.com, and I'm an intuitive shamanic mentor and healer. And I really love working one-on-one with clients in what I've developed to be energy mentoring programs. And clients come to me for many different reasons, but usually it's centered around purpose and a sense of change and transformation happening in their life, and just needing a little bit of guidance, a little bit of clearing, kind of like a little bit of everything. And that's kind of my specialty, helping people remember who they are and really connecting them to that inner knowing that is always there, but sometimes gets clouded. So, if you are interested in working with me, I recommend definitely checking out my website if you're not there already, courageousintuitive.com. And you can get a hold of me and we can do free consultation. We can see if it's a mutual fit or not. I work with people over Skype, as well as locally here in Madison, Wisconsin. So, one other announcement here before we get going. On the full moon meditation, every new moon now, I'm getting requests for new moon meditations. So, starting in May, I will be doing a full moon and a new moon meditation. There's different energies with both of them. And doing these meditations really fills me up. And, you know, I don't have a million subscribers and a million views on this, but just to know that even one person is watching and gaining benefit. I mean, even if nobody was watching, I'd still be doing them because they just fill me up so much. And it's really nice to be able to have that interaction with the energy of whoever is on the other side, because my intention is to hold space for all of those viewers that are watching live, as well as who will be watching in the future, as well as myself. And yeah, riding on that intention is so blissful. So thank you for tuning in and allowing me that opportunity. It's really great. This month's full moon. So the moon is in Scorpio and the sun is in Taurus. And all you astrology buffs can extrapolate from there. It takes place today, Friday, April 22nd. And I think it already took place like really early this morning. And I fell asleep last night. The window that I was right next to happened to be a straight shot right up to the full moon. So it's really special and awesome. So I definitely encourage you to go check that out if it's not cloudy. And even if it is, just still stand outside. And really soak that up and just experience it in a different way. You're experiencing it, the energy now in this full moon meditation, but definitely recommend exploring that connection. Now we're talking about the full moon, but just exploring the connection to everything around you in various ways. So that's one way you can do it. Anything else? I think that's it. So if this is your first time doing these meditations with me, you can do the Meeting Your Sacred Space meditation first, because we'll be doing this meditation in our sacred space. It's a place built on the shamanic principle of sacred space. And I do all of my sessions there, one-on-one. I also do all of my shamanic journey work from there. I start there. And it's something that everybody carries with them. Everybody carries inside of them. And it's just a really nice reminder to start from that space. To start from that space of knowing that you are safe, you're in control, and then going forward from there. So do that meditation first, and then how I do this meditation. So like I said, I'm holding the intention for everyone who's participating as well as myself, and I just intuitively connect to wherever the meditation wants to take us with the full moon. So I don't prepare anything ahead of time, and just roll with it. So these meditations are usually 30 to 45 minutes long, I've noticed. So just know that before we start. And then grab anything that you would like. Maybe you've got some crystals near you, or a tarot card or an oracle card you've been gaining wisdom from, or anything, your journal, anything that you feel that's sacred and that you'd like to bring into meditation. I'm actually going to go grab a stone because my energy is all over the place right now. So I have one in mind that I see on the shelf over there. So you go ahead and do that for yourself. Grab any last drinks of water, use the restroom. Let other people know in your space that you're going to need some time to do this meditation, and then start to nestle in. So I'll be right back. Okay. All right, so I got some stones here for myself. That'd be really cool if I could cool. So there is a chat feature. So that would be cool if we could start doing that as an option. Kind of interacting a little bit more before we start. That would definitely make the meditation longer, but that's okay. That'd be fun to get to know each other a little bit. So maybe we can implement that next new moon. Okay, so already feeling some shifts. Okay, so starting to really take your nice 3 deep breaths. So you're inhaling and your abdomen rises, your belly comes out. As you exhale, your shoulders relax. And you just easily sink into the chair, the ground, the couch, whatever's underneath you. Keep that rhythm going. Inhaling deeply. And exhaling, dropping into a deeper sense of ease. If you're not there already, head over to your sacred space. Okay, and I was feeling this even before we went there. I feel filled up, overflowing with water element, with emotion. So, going to your sacred space, my sacred space is flooded. So maybe you are experiencing that as well. But we're going to work with the water element right away. So if your sacred space isn't flooded like mine is, go to where the water element is present in your sacred space. And as I step in, there's a tendency for me to want to, a cloud appeared actually, and I was hovering over the flooded area. And the full moon is telling me, no, you have to lie in the water. So immerse yourself in your water element that you find in your sacred space. So it's definitely bringing up that emotion. And it's almost like a little bit of fear, like wanting to just dip your toes in. All of your wants, all of your fears are just right there. And immerse yourself in that emotion, in that water element, and allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. Hold space for the desires, the emotions, anything that's there. And if you're not having a very strong reaction as I am, that's perfectly fine. But you can still connect to that water element. Which probably means that you are more integrated than I am, and you've been, all throughout this past month, you've probably been really integrating all of those feelings that you've been having and those desires. And there isn't anything really built up left undone. So if you are like that, and you're feeling really balanced in that water element, then this will only deepen your intuitive awareness, and it will only deepen your balance. So if there's a tendency to be like, oh, I don't need that, or that's not what's up for me, just take this opportunity to connect into that and deepen that even more. So still breathing there, immersed in that water element, and just allowing whatever wants to come up. And why these emotions get stuck and get kind of built up It's because we don't allow ourselves to feel it. So it's the same principle as in meditation. So most meditation teachers will talk about this. When you're just focusing on being, you allow a thought to come in, and then you just don't attach to it. You don't place any judgment on it. You just notice it, witness it, and then notice that it just leaves again. And then more thoughts come, and they just leave. And they'll stay if you focus on it. If you judge yourself for it, if you, have beliefs around what that means because you had that thought. So the same thing with emotions. They'll get stuck, they'll get built up if we just don't allow ourselves to just feel them. Yeah, I feel angry right now. And a lot of times, and a lot of this is, in society, if you're at work or at school or in a meeting, it's not necessarily appropriate all the time to show exactly what you're feeling. And that's okay. Sometimes it's not a safe place for you to do that. But then you can give yourself a promise that when you are in a safe place, you will hold space for whatever came up. And I'm not a big fan of complaining. Some people call it conscious complaining. You're just kind of going on and on and on about anything. Because that too is a level of being stuck. So when you do conscious complaining, really choose someone who will help gently redirect you so that it doesn't turn into you focusing and judging on the emotion. There's just a natural emotion that came up for you. Because that also will make it not move through you, not make it move through you in a flowy, helpful way. And these concepts they should be really secondhand to us as humans, because we all have emotions. And our mothers and fathers, our teachers, society should teach us all of this, but they don't. They teach us other things about emotions, that they're not okay for certain genders, certain emotions are not okay for certain genders, emotions are not okay for certain occupations. So if you have any deeper questions, or if this is kind of like not making sense to you, I encourage you to get in touch with me and we can talk things out kind of on a deeper level, and create a deep understanding there. Because if you don't understand your emotions, it can be really difficult and confusing. Because sooner or later they catch up to us if we continually deny them or continually stuff them. Okay, so I didn't plan that that little sidetrack, that little rant. So hopefully that helps someone out there. Someone's energy was being called was asking for that. Ah, I think so, because there's some lifting energy now. So the openness, the lifting sensation always comes when you are really willing to hold space for your emotions. There's always relief after the storm. If you're not willing to hold that space, and sometimes people don't even know what that means, if you're not willing to hold that space, then it just stays stormy. And it might seem like, oh, I'm disconnected and I'm better, but there's no uplifting feeling then afterwards if it's not, if it hasn't been fully allowed and expressed. So great job, guys. I'm feeling it. Hope you guys are as well. So now let's hop on that cloud then. So if there is a cloud in your sacred space, you can hop on. We'll see where that takes us. If something else appears, maybe one of your spirit animals is a bird or some other device shows up that allows you to float up, go ahead and hop on that. Take a couple of nice, deep, conscious breaths. And then wherever you're hovering, kind of stop right there where it feels like, okay, I'm going to go this high and that feels perfect. And maybe you don't easily see energy. That's perfectly fine. Some people just get deep feelings. And some people just get really strong knowings. So just check out, what does it feel like? What does it look like? What do you know about that sensation, that view that you have when you're up there? Up in the sky in your sacred space, on whatever cloud or bird or device. So I'm getting a sense that this is going to be quite universal. But for me, there's just like this huge sense of heart opening. That's what I just keep getting over and over again. So let's take that energy and open up our heart's desire. So we let go of a lot of baggage, a lot of emotional baggage in the beginning. So let's dare to dream here. And be willing to be surprised at your new priorities. So when you let go of emotional baggage and a lot of limiting beliefs surrounding your emotions and your experiences, you may be surprised at actually what is important to you. You might have always thought something else was important to you, but it was just a limiting belief that you picked up along the way. So the first thing that's coming to me is I want to be rich. And that is something that I was not able to even think about, let alone say on a live stream meditation. because I was, for a very long time, attached to the limiting belief that you can't be spiritual and be financially wealthy or just be well off in general. You have to beg for your food. You know, the whole sadhu, the traveling sadhu in India model just like resonated really easily with me. Like, sure, that's just, you know, rich people aren't spiritual. And, you know, not even like rich, just, you just have to like only get by if you're spiritual. And I am completely ready to let that go. All types of wealth, welcoming that in. And it feels good when I say that I want to be rich, I want to be wealthy, I want to be affluent. I can't help anybody if I myself need help. So, what are a few things that are coming up for yourself? Maybe it's just one really powerful one for you, or maybe it's multiple things and they just keep coming. This is where the chat would be really great. See what people are experiencing. I always love comments after the meditation, so please do that. Comment, comment, comment. Ooh. A really strong second thing that came for me that I've never, I don't think, specifically desired before. And that's unconditional love. And not necessarily so much to receive it, because I feel like I have before and are currently now, but to give it. And you know, in order to fully give it, you have to fully be receiving it too. So that feels really great. Not needing anyone to act in any way, any certain special way, in order for me to feel that love in response to anything that they're doing. Just keep giving that love. And in order to give that, I really have to fill that up for myself. That's a great, great thing. I've never, never really desired that before, so that's awesome. I'm feeling so much continual energy with this heart opening, so keep that going for yourself. Excuse me, and asking your heart to expand. And if you're not getting anything specific, that's okay. You can just focus on that heart opening feeling. And breathing deeply. It's so great when you're working with your intuition because it's not coming from, your logical brain, logical mind. And the third thing that came for me was, I want to connect with all of you more. And that's so true. It's not something I would have, if you asked me to say 3 things that I desired, those probably aren't the 3 things that I've come up with off the bat, from my head, from my brain. But that's so true because, I just wanted to connect with the chat too at the beginning. So just allow these things to come naturally and allow yourself to kind of feel into where your heart's desire is leading you. All right, cool. So the next thing in the meditation that wants to come is something that came forward in a client this week. It's a new energy tool. And I've never done it before this week. And it also came up in my yoga class this week as well, to repeat that. And it's also coming up today in this meditation. So with those heart desires, they're, when you start following those desires, there's a lot of worry that can happen in your head, a lot of how do I figure out the details of everything, a lot of how, okay, I want that, but how does that come about? And what we want to do is integrate the head and the heart. And this is an excellent energy tool because it's a figure 8 from the head to the heart. And the place where it crosses, where the figure 8 crosses, is the throat chakra. So that is entwining the energy of the head and the heart with your truth, your own personal truth that you want to present to the world, and also live from the inside out. So you can do this figure 8 with your hand physically, or you can just visualize it mentally. Keeping in mind those heart's desires that came forward, or those desires of your heart, and integrating them with that figure 8. And now, however you're visualizing that energy of that figure 8, make that figure 8 bigger. So maybe it kind of looks like a little string. We'll make that figure 8 thicker to be more like a rope. Make it even thicker. Maybe it's like a bundle of ropes. Play around with the speed. Speed it up, slow it down. Mine wants to go really, really fast. And lastly, check out what color it is. So you might just know this. You might just get a sense, a feeling of what color it is, or you might actually see the color. Or you might hear the color. So right away I knew mine was lime green. It's got a little bit of green, it's got a little bit of yellow. All right. Return your awareness to your breath and just inhale deeply. Deep, nourishing breath, and exhale completely. Yeah. Exhale. My head is buzzing now after all that energy moving. And now there's really a sense of wanting to ground and actually go into the earth, like burrow into the earth. So maybe you find yourself a cave, or maybe you actually burrow a little space out for you. But set it up in your sacred space so that you are directly on the earth and almost, somewhat inside of the earth. So you're feeling the earth is around you to some extent. Okay, things are moving quickly, and then there's a fire. So bring in the fire element. Maybe it's a candle. Maybe it's an actual like campfire type thing. However the fire element wants to come. And this fire element will help us focus our heart's desires and give us focus in our life. So almost like as an offering, bring your heart's desires into that fire of focus and energy. And power and confidence. And it's like you're putting it in there knowing that it can happen, knowing that those will come to fruition, knowing that you got this type of energy. And if there's anything that's kind of bouncing back at you and doesn't want to go in the fire, you know that you still hold some resistance to that. You don't fully believe that you who knows? Many different beliefs can be there, that you don't deserve it, that you don't, you're not worthy of it, that you can't do it, you don't have the skills, it's just not going to happen for you. Who knows? Can be many limiting beliefs. You have to do something first before that, before you can have that, or do that, or experience that, whatever that desire may be for you. So notice whatever ones are bouncing back, just take note, okay, I've got some more resistance there on that one. Okay, so as you put in the heart's desires that you're ready for, notice that the fire grows. And maybe you've already noticed this. And it's almost like filling up the space. So don't be alarmed. You're in your sacred space, so you're in control and always safe. So you're not going to burn up. But this fire energy is going to be all around you, bringing your life towards the focus of those desires that are deep in your heart. So allow that energy to come around you and encompass you. And notice, I don't always say these things because I don't want to put feelings or words into people that they're not actually feeling, but for me, I almost said like notice that it feels so nurturing and so grounding. But notice how it feels for you and see if it feels like that. You're still connected to the earth, yet you have all of that fire energy, bringing that vortex of focus in your life and in your aura and in each and every cell It's almost like giving each and every cell those orders to vibrate at whatever you said your heart's desires were. There's one little caveat that's coming up. So if this meditation is feeling less than spectacular right here when we're at this point, it just means that you're holding a certain amount of resistance to what you desire. And that's perfectly okay. Just keep doing this meditation. Return to it again and again throughout the month. I mean, even during the new moon and, after the new moon. When you find resistance, just keep holding space for that. So, we did that in the beginning, and that will really help if you're experiencing that resistance now. So doing this whole meditation multiple times will really help release some of that. And I'd be surprised if it didn't, and if it doesn't, contact me, let me know. There may be some other intuitive help that I can offer. Okay. So we're going to finish this meditation with, there's an energy of mother, the nurturing type of energy that wants to come and kind of send us off on our way. So what is that nurturing energy for you? Maybe there's a certain spirit animal that wants to come forward. Maybe there's a god or goddess in a certain religion or a certain cultural background that wants to come forward. And men can be nurturers as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be female or any gender. We're just inviting that nurturing energy to come forward and send us on our way. So maybe surprisingly enough, crocodile is coming forward for me. Crocodile comes to me as with no gender, male and female. She's on my logo, and she's really bringing that nurturing energy to me right now. Offering her throat, her protection, her playfulness. Her strength. And notice whatever qualities you are feeling, sensing into. Notice that those are the parts of yourself that you are really cultivating and being called to use to move forward. Really connecting to that deep, nurturing side, to nurture yourself, nurture your inner desires, nurture your inner world so that your inner world really matches your outer matches your inner. I'm really getting a sense of less confusion, less polarity of my inner world and outer world. And I was definitely feeling a lot of that in the past 2 weeks, week and a half especially. And now it feels really balanced, really at ease. Perfect. So if you really just want to soak up whatever goodness you're feeling, I definitely encourage you to stay still for as long as you like, really milking these good sensations. And share with us all afterwards how this all went for you. Maybe what 2 or 3 things that came up for you. And always remembering, thanking our sacred space, thanking all of the elements that worked with us today. Thank the full moon. Thank myself for facilitating and you for participating. And we will see you at the new moon meditation. Om Shanti.